Hello, and welcome to today's episode. The Bible is referred to as the living Word of God. It isn't a book that is meant to simply be read. It is a perspective-altering substance that is meant to be ingested and absorbed into you. It changes you, and it is meant to. A psalm is a spiritual song based on a profound foundational insight that is expressed in the form of music, which is usually plucked out on a harp. This is my own paraphrase of the Psalms. Now, there is an important difference between a paraphrase and a translation, and it is important to understand what that difference is. A translation takes a text word by word and finds the most accurate word in another language to convey the meaning of that original word. But sometimes getting the details right can come at the expense of the big picture. For example, the literal translation for a butt dial and the literal translation for a booty call could end up being the exact same if they were translated very literally into another language. But we all know that those are two very different ideas. A paraphrase, on the other hand, is attempting to capture the spirit of the idea that is being expressed. But both approaches have their disadvantages. Sometimes the most literal translation for each word, while technically accurate, loses something in its translation. For example, if you were to translate the phrase, "cat got your tongue," into another language, it would make no sense to them. Why would a house cat grab your tongue? What are you talking about? In order to convey the original idea, you would have to find out the saying that is used in that other language to express the same concept. But it might not involve a cat, or even any animal at all. So the literal translation would not be a very accurate one. But in a case like the one that I just described, the idea is more important than sticking to a very literal translation that loses all of the intended meaning. However, because paraphrases are an individual's interpretation of the underlying idea, instead of a rigorous academic translation of the word, they are not as accurate as a translation is. A paraphrase is a lot more subjective, and that makes it much more susceptible to interpretations that are way off the mark of the original text's intent. The focus of a translation is on detailed accuracy, and sometimes the broader picture is not conveyed very clearly as a result. The focus of a paraphrase is on painting that big picture, but it often loses the accuracy of the finer details. Both are useful, as long as you understand which is which, and what the disadvantages to each approach are. That is why I recommend using both an accurate translation, like the New American Standard, and a responsible paraphrase. Psalm 8. Creator Most High, the echo of your majesty is heard throughout the entire earth. For your splendor is spread all across the skies and beyond. It is always on full display, proving that your glory is justified. For you are with us from our very beginning, from the time that we were all nursing infants, cradled at our mother's breast, even when we were just tiny babies with our little mouths. You began to nurture a strength inside of us that would enable us to stand up to your enemies. For when your strength is displayed in us, it leaves the opposition in a dumbfounded silence, and it overcomes the vengeful, removing that contagion from mankind. Yet, when I behold the heavens that you made and take in the handcrafted work that you created, the moon and the stars which you placed in their perfect setting, I cannot help but wonder why you would give us a second thought. After all, what is important enough about mortal human beings that you would bother concerning yourself with them? Why are you so invested in their individual fates that you would interact with them and watch over them with such devoted care? For you created us with so many gifts that we fell just a little bit short of being divine when you crowned us with dignity and glory in the light of Eden's dawn. Then on top of that, you gave mankind your handcrafted masterpiece to be his very own, and you generously entrusted all of it to him to rule over. You turned it all over to his care and made him a steward not only of all of the domestic creatures like sheep and cattle, but even of your mesmerizing wildlife as well. You placed all of it under his domain, from the birds soaring through the sky to the fish gliding through the seas, and even the incredible giants that dwell in the heart of the deep. Creator Most High, your impressive legacy is indeed on full display across the entire world. I pray that whatever voice God might choose to give me in this world, he would also give me the words that I should use it for. These words have meaning for me, and if they had some meaning for you as well, then I am truly grateful that we have both been given a gift from above and from each other. So have a good day out there, my friends.